Alright, so this was not a video I had intended on doing. It's not a video I ever wanted to have to do, but unfortunately, as you can tell by the title of this video, I did lose my job, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit why some of our content has been lacking. We've been really stressed out, and I'm also going to explain to you what happened at my job to cause me getting fired, because I want to be as transparent as I can. So I'm going to try to explain it with as much detail as I can so you guys can get a good understanding of what actually happened. Alright, so the first few months that I had been working there, it was great. I think it was like the first 4 months, everything was going so smooth, it was going great. And then I ended up telling them that I was joining the National Guard, which I am, which will probably be in another video at some point explaining to you guys more or less my reasons for joining the National Guard. Alright, so going back to the day right after I let them know that I was joining the National Guard, which this was about a month ago, I let them know. A guy that I was working with on second shift, my coworker, there was only 2 of us on second shift, and I'm not going to name any names in this video because there's no need to. The guy that I was working with on second shift, he let me know that he did not like me and that he was going to run me out of my job, which kind of freaked me out. So I went ahead and let the first shift supervisor know, because he was the second shift supervisor. And I went ahead and let the first shift supervisor know, and they did nothing about it. They sat down, they had a talk with us, and they just said, you know, you need to let bygones be bygones. So that's what I did. I tried really hard to be friends with this guy, and never in the entire history of me working at this place, even when I got fired, I was never disrespectful even once. So a few weeks, maybe I think it was like 2 weeks go by, and another guy on first shift, because when we work, I go in at 2, first shift gets done at 3:30, so they're for about an hour and a half with us second shifters. And this first shift co-worker, he ended up, a lot of the time, he kept badgering me pretty much. He kept telling me that, oh, what kind of a father am I going to be when I lose my job and I can't feed my daughter, and oh, he knows what it takes to be a good father, he knows what it is, and he just doesn't see me being that. Well, I kept reporting this to the first shift supervisor, and nothing was being done. Nothing was being done at all. It continued on. It continued, and it wouldn't stop up until I ended up actually getting fired, and it was pretty much just saying the same thing. So I learned how to just put it behind me. I just didn't care if he said something. I was just like, okay, whatever. I just didn't listen to him. Well, I listened to him, but I didn't listen to the rude remarks that he was making. Other words, because I'm a type of worker that likes to keep working until the clock's done, because I feel it makes my day go faster, and if I go to work and I just keep busy, I get to go home faster. At least it feels to be a faster day, and I get to go home to my family and enjoy the rest of my day. And apparently the guys there, they don't like that kind of work ethic. They told me several times, first shift supervisor told me he wants me to spend all 8 hours just cleaning light lenses in the ceiling throughout the entire facility. So it was like 4th floor down to 1st floor, and the floors aren't that big. So in 3 hours, I had it all done, and I was taking my time, and I ended up getting in trouble for that. But I don't know how to make something like that take so long, because all it is you take down the light, wash it on either side, spray it down again, wash it again, clean around the edges and the inside, and you put it back up. Unfortunately, they did not like how fast I worked. Everything got done just exactly as it was supposed to be, but I worked a little bit faster than them because that's just how I am. And if I didn't have anything to do, I was walking around looking for stuff to do, picking up cigarette butts, doing anything just to keep busy and keep the place looking nice. Well, it came down to my last week here at work, and the main supervisor over all the second shift and the first shift supervisor, their supervisor, came to me and he said he keeps getting some remarks about me and that he wants to see that I'm doing my job, because he looks at the cameras and he sees me constantly working, which he likes. He just doesn't understand why the guys keep complaining about me. So he moves me to first shift, and he stays with me pretty much the entire time, except for 2 or 3 of the days that were out of that last week. So that first week that I was there, the overhead supervisor was pretty much just keeping an eye on things here and there, making sure that I was doing what I said that I was doing, which I was, and I was even trying harder this week to let them know that I was a good worker and that I deserved that spot that I had. Well, it came down to Wednesday, and every Thursday they have lawn care guys come and mow like all 10 acres of the land, because it's pretty big land there, and not all 10 acres are taken up by grass and everything. A lot of it's on the building and whatnot, but there is a lot of grass to be mowed there. What they ended up asking me to do on Wednesday was to mow all of the grass in the entire facility, knowing that the guy was coming Thursday, and I said, okay, it took me 8 hours and it wasn't even done yet. That's how much grass that they have there. So I spent the entire day mowing up giant hill because that's what it is. It was the place that I worked at is built on a giant hill. And I spent all 8 hours just chugging along, trying to get that done, drinking as much water as I possibly could. I came home, I was hurting, man, I tell you what. I come back in Thursday, and the lawn crew still shows up and mows over top of what I just did. And then they pocketed however much money that they pocketed each, because they get paid for every single time that they come in. So they didn't even mow, and they still got that money. I let it go. I let it go because I wanted to keep my job. I enjoy my job a whole lot. I liked what I did. So Thursday passes by, and this is just this past Thursday. So Thursday passes by, everything's going good all day Thursday. Nothing, I haven't gotten any complaints from anybody, nothing whatsoever. It hits Friday. It was a normal day. I showed up, I was doing my normal routine, and my supervisor, he was like, hey, I want you to go pick up cigarette butts around the entire area. And usually I put on a pair of gloves. This is the first shift supervisor I'm talking about. He informs me that he doesn't want me to use gloves this time, and need I remind you, this is a drug and alcohol facility. There is a reason why I use gloves. I don't know who has what and who touched that cigarette butt. So I had to go and pick them up with my bare hands. And that's fine and all. I was just making sure to keep my hands away from my mouth, made sure to wash my hands right after. But he came over to me and he's like, hey, I want you to pick up all the cigarette butts around the big smoking pavilion and then go all the way down straight over to the small smoking pavilion and get both of those areas first. And there's like a really long grass path that leads to it that usually gets filled up with cigarette butts as well. So I said, okay, yeah, I will pick up the big one, and then I'll go straight over to the small one, pick that up, and then I will work my way through the grass and get the rest of the facility. He said, all right, that sounds good, that's a plan. Well, the coworker that does not like me came over to me 10 minutes later, me not thinking anything of it because I'm doing great this entire week. He said, hey, our supervisor wants you to pick him up here, and then he wants you to work your way through the grass and get the small pavilion. So that makes sense to me because that's what I usually do. I was like, okay, so he just wants me to wipe it all out really fast. So that's exactly what I do. I'm in the middle of picking them up in the grass. I'm almost to the small smoking pavilion when I hear, Scott, get over here. It was like, I didn't know what to think. I could tell that he was clearly angry, but I had no clue why, so I walked over there. As soon as I walk into the maintenance shed, all I hear is, and I'm going to censor myself here, all I hear is, get your crap and leave, but he used the other term for crap. Catch my drift. He said it like 3 times, and I was trying to understand why I was being asked to leave, and I kept asking him right as the coworker that doesn't like me came in, and I said, you realize that he just came out to me and told me to pick up the cigarette butts throughout the grass going down to the small pavilion. The coworker looked at me and he goes, I did not come to you and say anything. At that point, my mind, I had no clue how to react or what to say really to what he just said. He had just came out 10 minutes prior and let me know that my supervisor wanted me to do it all in one straight line. And he turns around and lies and says they didn't even come talk to me. And when you can clearly see there's cameras pointed on those positions, which I guess they did go back and look at. But regardless, he sat there and lied and said that he didn't come to me. So I ended up being sent home early that day. But before I went home, I had asked if I can wait until the overhead supervisor came in because he came in like 20 minutes later. I was shot down, I was told no, and I said, this is ridiculous. And as I was going to walk out of the door, all of a sudden I hear the coworker go, he's a racist. I turned around and said, what are you talking about? And they're both calling me racist. I had no clue how I was a racist. I didn't know why they were saying it. So on top of me going home early, I had to worry about losing my job because they're saying that I said something racist to them. So I just put my head down, I got in my car, and I went home. Not even 20 minutes later, I get a call when the overhead supervisor walked into the building. So I get this call from the overhead supervisor, and he said, hey, your supervisor said that you were calling them racist, derogatory names, and that you threatened their lives and their families' lives. What? I don't know how to respond to that over the phone. I was just in complete shock, and I was like, I said nothing nasty to them. I literally told them that this was ridiculous. They said that I was a racist. I put my head down and I left. You can check out the cameras. Which he did, by the way. He said he saw me raise my hands one time like this, and that's when I said it was ridiculous. You can clearly see on the camera that I said, this is ridiculous. So there was a company picnic that weekend, or just this past weekend, that I was really looking forward to. They had jumbo shrimp there and everything. And Tanna was also looking forward to it too, and he tells me, don't show up. He said they let security know that you threaten their lives and they don't want you on the campus. So I sat down and I explained to him everything because I can never get a hold of this guy. He's always over in Florida, the overhead supervisor. He's always over there in Florida. So I have no way to contact him. I don't have his number. I don't know how to get a hold of him. I had asked my immediate supervisor many times for his number, or can you please get a hold of him so I can let him know what's going on, because nothing's being done. And I was shot down and I was told, you know, you need to work with these guys to get over the issue. So I tried that many times. I was as nice as I possibly could be to these guys. I never once yelled at them. I never once said any racial or derogatory things. And I never once threatened them. Keep in mind that probably 2 weeks prior to this event, the coworker got in my face, the one that lied. He got in my face nose to nose, and you can see it. He literally got nose to nose, like nose to nose with me. And he told me that he was going to knock me out and put me in the hospital. I reported it. Nothing happened. I heard nothing about it. He still has his job. Everything still going for him, and I had no clue why. So now I'm going through my mind, freaking out. How am I going to be able to pay my bills? What am I going to do? And I guess the conspiracy part of me started acting up a little bit, and I started wondering, why was it that it happened to be the only day that them two that hate me were working at the same exact time, and nobody else, just me and them. And what are the odds of them both being in the room at the same time when they're coming down on me? I keep thinking back to me saying I was joining the National Guard, and the day after, that's when things started going downhill. And I honestly think it has something to do with that. Now, keep in mind, both of these guys are Mexican. I am not racist. I do not hate Mexicans. I do not hate blacks. I don't hate anybody. They said that I called them wetbacks, and I am sorry if me saying that now. I'm just trying to explain. I am not trying to offend anybody. That is the racial slur that they said I called them, and I was completely blown away. It's like, when would that even come into context? Like, I don't understand. I was not even heated with these guys. I was not mad at all. I was upset about the fact that they were sending me home because my coworker was lying about me. But never once did that even come into context. I don't even think about saying that stuff. So now, apparently to that work, I am a racist and I threaten their lives. So my overhead supervisor went ahead and let me know he wants me to come in Monday and talk with him and HR. So I do. I go in there Monday. I have my full hopes. I'm hoping that I can be able to keep my job, work something out, or maybe they saw on the cameras that they were wrong and maybe they would get fired, or maybe they'd just get a really stern talking to. Because keep in mind, I don't want anybody else to get fired. I understand that people have families. They all have families. I don't know why they would do this to me. But anywho, I go in there and I start talking to them, and they're coming down on me like I actually did these things wrong. And they let me know that they can't tolerate racial slurs and violence in the workplace. Why didn't anybody do anything about my coworker who got in my face 2 weeks prior? He threatened to knock me out. He threatened to put me into the hospital. And he said, oh, well, we're not talking about that right now. We already settled that. What was done? And I'm sorry if I look a little emotional talking about this. It's still a fresh incident, and it still has me so mad. Don't think of this video as me asking you guys to like feel bad for me or feel pity for me. No, I'm filling out job applications every single day. I'm doing everything that I can to get back into another place. Wish I have a lead on a job that pays a little bit more than that job right now. I'm just saying I feel that I was extremely wronged. I was. It's not that I just feel. I was completely wronged in that entire situation. Never once did I say anything racist to them or threaten anybody at all, especially their families. We've been making vlogs for a little bit now, and as you guys can probably tell, our vlog is kind of suffering because of this event that just took place over the end of last week and to right now, actually. We're still really emotional about the whole situation. We're trying to figure out how we're going to be able to keep the roof over our head, which we think we have figured out pretty well right now. And hopefully I get into this job. We're praying like crazy that I get this job. But I want to let you guys know this is why our content is suffering. I don't want to keep you guys in the dark. We want to do daily vlogging every single day for you guys, but right now it's super hard. So if we don't have the longest or the most interesting videos coming up throughout the next week or so, that is why. We're trying desperately. Right now our main focus is getting me another job and getting more income coming into our family. And we wish with everything we could do this full time, which is what we want to work towards, but we aren't doing YouTube to earn money. We're doing YouTube so that we can look back in the past and watch our daughter or any other kids that we have grow up. I enjoy editing videos a lot, and it's something that I'm just going to continue doing regardless if I am being paid to or not. Regardless if we have 1 million subscribers or if we have 213 subscribers like we have right now. This is just something that we enjoy to do, and we want to let you guys know why some of our content is probably, we're going to try not to let it affect it too much, but that's why some of our content is suffering. Like today, we just don't have time to vlog. She's out taking Ivy to a doctor's appointment. I'm here filling out job applications, trying to get stuff figured out and just get a good game plan. We want to prepare for the future just in case something like this happens again. We also want to prepare so that when I get the next job, we know exactly where our money's going. We like to budget. We are very, very keen on budgeting. So this video right here was just pretty much to keep you in the loop of things. I know it's not a vlog. It's just me talking about me losing my job. But I feel like you guys are a part of the family as well as we keep growing. Regardless of how big we are, our subscribers, you guys are still our family. We want to keep you in the loop. We want to let you know what's going on in our lives. And look at this. I'm sweating like crazy just sitting here because I have to have the AC off. And on top of that, I'm just still a little bit heated talking about this situation. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video for some reason. Please remember to leave a like, comment down below, show some support, and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And we'll see you guys in our next vlog. Bye.